What's going on, Cancer? All thanks and praise to the Most High. Welcome or welcome back to the channel. Welcome to your collective Cancer reading. For those of y'all that are new here, Cancer readings are dropped on Wednesdays. Element messages are dropped on Fridays. So if those are energies that you are wanting to keep up with or tap into, please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel, okay? Keep in mind that these messages are collective messages, so they may or may not resonate with each and every one of you. However, if you ever become interested in personal readings, I do offer those. Make sure you check out the link in the description area for that, okay? These messages are not directed towards any area or aspect of your life in particular. However, as the message is being delivered, you take the information in the energy and you apply it to the area or aspect of your life where you may deem necessary at this time, okay? With that being said, we are about to get into a collective message, okay, Cancer? Just to see what it is that Spirit has for you, what Spirit has in store for you, what Spirit wants you to know and or be aware of at this time, okay? All thanks and praise to the Most High. You know their hearts and you know their situations. Can you give us the cards that we need in order for us to be able to receive the message at hand with an open mind and an open heart? I ask that you provide me with the words to be able to articulate this message as best as possible, as well as clear anything standing in the way of their clarification, confirmation, transformation, and healing at this time. Ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. So we got a few, right? We got a few, so we're about to go ahead and tap into the energies that came out. Make sure that at any time throughout the reading, you can, if it resonates and or you can relate to what's being expressed, make sure you leave me a comment and let me know, okay? Cancers. Okay. This is crazy. Cancers, what the fuck? Like, what's really going on? Okay, underneath it all, there's the Queen of Cups, okay? And this gives up the energy of like, okay, you still, like you're hiding behind your emotions. You know, people tend to say like Cancers are is the emotional ones of the zodiac. But there, you don't want to continuously hide behind your emotions, love. You definitely want to start showing up, right? Like showing up and having the necessary conversations. And when I say having the necessary conversations, that doesn't mean having them from an emotional place, right? Your emotions can pretty much like trigger you, and they can like kind of guide you into a space, but you don't want them to control the situation at hand, whatever the situation is at this time, okay? You want to take small steps forward with the Two of Wands being there. Small steps forward to allowing yourself to see the things that you really probably cannot see on the surface, right? With the Priestess showing up, it's like it's some hidden energy, some hidden evidence, some hidden information that you have not allowed yourself to see. So that's another reason why you want to be careful, because when your emotions get so involved in a particular situation, you really probably don't like be really basing it off of like what's real, right? You're basing it off of something else that's not like really what's being shown or what's being presented to you, and you probably are not allowing yourself to see that because you're letting your emotions operate in the front, on the front line, and like lead you type shit, okay? Now, that was just the underneath it all energy. Let's get into the energy that we do have on this table right now. First and foremost, we're going to start off with the Seven of Wands that shows up. So this Seven of Wands, Cancers, is letting me know about like some conflict, some external conflict that you're experiencing, whether it's you arguing with people, whether it seems like stuff is like coming up against you or things are becoming a struggle in some type of way, shape, or form. And not only do I feel like that's an external thing, I also feel like it's an internal thing, like a battle within yourself, wondering whether you're doing something right or you're doing something wrong, or just being like, you know, kind of like a conflict. I don't know, it's a different word. I've never heard that word. I've never said that word, so I'm not saying that word. But it's causing a lot of conflict within you. That is so conflictory, and I don't think conflictory is a word for us down here, okay? But yeah, so that combative energy, whether it's outside of yourself, if you feel, even when I say combative energy, it's like feeling like things or people are up against you, like there's no understanding, there's always an issue, like, you know, it's just that energy where it's like, I can't win for losing at this point, and I'm tired of me, I'm tired of y'all, I'm tired of all this shit, basically, right? Those things are happening. You have to pay attention to how you view yourself, okay? You have to pay attention to how you think about yourself. Like, there's a, and you probably don't even recognize this, for real. So there are certain areas and aspects of yourself that pretty much you disagree with, okay? Hear me out, because it's like, I know on the surface you may not want to receive this part, because how we picture ourselves, with how we view ourselves when we show up. But I need you to really hear me out and make sure that if at any time, like where it resonates or you can relate to it, make sure you let me know in the comments. You know how people can project certain energies though? Like, there is something that you see in yourself, or that you've seen in yourself at a certain point in time, and when it starts to resurface and you see it in other things or other people, you kind of like get irritated or aggravated by it. You understand? But the fact that you still get irritated and aggravated by somebody else's actions based on who you knew yourself to be or where you know yourself to be, that still means that you have not truly really accepted that part of you, in a sense. And I'm saying you haven't accepted, because had you had accepted, you'll be more compassionate and understanding as to why that outside individual operates or shows up in the way that they do, based on you knowing who you are and or where you come from. Do you understand what I'm explaining? I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense. So next up, you have the Two of Discs that shows up. And at the bottom of this card, it says change, right? So if you go back into what I was just saying about, like, there are certain things that you did and then you elevated to another place, but it's like, it's still the same thing. You still had to go through this in order for you to get to this. You going through this is what made you become this, or what made you get into this. Do you understand? So again, you want to give people that same grace after you learn how to really like show up and give it to yourself. Cancers, are you following me? Because you don't want to continuously tap into the energy of feeling like this emotional dissatisfaction with whatever, whoever or whatever is in front of you, right? I don't even know how to describe this energy right here. Don't allow pretty much like the bad, right, what you consider to be bad energies of a situation, or like, you know, these instances, they're triggering you, and when they trigger you, they're bringing up so many negative emotions. That's what you want to heal from. Because when things happen and you're still triggered by them, baby, when you're still triggered, the only reason you get triggered is because, okay, there's still more work to be done here. And I'm not taking away from how much you've grown. I'm not taking away from what you've already done. I'm not taking away from your accomplishments. What I'm saying is there's levels to this shit, right? So yes, very much so. You've overcome that first step and that second step and that third step, and now you're at this fourth step. And now it's time for you to evolve a little bit more. But Spirit, God, Source, Energy, the Most High only gives you as much as you can handle at a time. So it's like you didn't get everything. So you didn't have to learn the whole lesson all at one time, because they wanted to break it down in bits and pieces so that you can be able to actually cope with the message or the lesson, and understand and receive the blessing in the process, if that makes sense, right? This whole journey is full of emotional shit, like emotional roller coaster type stuff that we'd rather not go through. But when you go through it, you're growing through it. Do you understand what I'm explaining? So don't be so hard on yourself. Don't be so caught up on who you used to be, or even like, because you got to understand, like, it's different strokes for different folks. And who knows, like, whatever reason God placed you here, or you chose to come back here, or however that situation works, right? However that agreement came about, you did it. And then, like, whether it's your kids, your partner, your ex, your family, like whoever, they also did it. And y'all not under the same contract. Y'all not on the same thing. So as complicated as it may seem to allow other people to be who they are, that's what you truly want to do. And it's not saying to let your kids or your children or whomever run wild and run over you. You have to figure out ways to address these situations without being so combative or even judgmental or emotionally attached to somebody else's outcome, if that makes sense. You understand? Please tell me you understand. So I wouldn't even tell you where to begin. I guess with the self-sabotaging aspect, like watching how you talk to yourself, watching how you think about yourself, watching how you show up for yourself, all those things, because you have the option. You can either be your biggest critic and your worst enemy, or you can be your biggest supporter and your own best friend. And that's the energy that needs to pretty much shift at this time, from going from being so hard on yourself, beating yourself up, talking crazy to and or about yourself and your decisions, right? To the other side of the spectrum, to like appreciating yourself, giving yourself grace, forgiving yourself, showing yourself compassion, loving yourself unconditionally, and so on and so forth. They did almost take my whole thought away. So I hope that went together how it was supposed to go together. But with that being said, like I said, make sure that you leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Give me some feedback. Make sure that if you have not subscribed to the channel that you subscribe. And I will catch y'all later. Peace.